Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Scary Stories by the Campfire. We are your counselors this evening. Jason,
Hey, Jeremy. Did I lose Jason already?
and tonight we're talking about Psycho 2.
Man, you got some really big delays in that one.
Well, yeah, I was for the people who are watching on YouTube and whatnot, you get to see the slow draw in. But, for the people listening on audio, they're just going to be sitting there going, that's a long pause. Do you forget what we were watching, talking about, reviewing, whatever you want to call it? Ah, yes. So, Psycho 2, a movie I did not know existed.
Maybe you should have.
Why?
Because other people did.
Yes, other people did, Jeremy. And you know what? For a movie that came out 22 years after the original, it was really good.
It
There you
was
go.
it was I.
I said it. It was good. I
It was I.
liked it.
It was I.
Is I?
It was
I don't think
I.
it's I. I think it's good.
It was I.
I gotta get on the Twitch here so I can see what our things are.
Well, why did you like it so much then?
I just thought it was just a nice, solid continuation. Unlike here's the thing: they actually did have, Psycho, the original movie, was based off the novel, which is not that hard to fathom. But did you know Psycho 2 and the movie are two totally different things? Why is my
Why is what?
get off? No, it just laptop's acting weird. So yeah, so Psycho 2 is actually not based off of the book. The book came out like a year before. Uh, Definitely don't like listening to myself talk when I'm talking. It's just really weird. But yeah, it came out a year before. And here's the thing, I guess Universal Studios read the novel and was like, "Yuck. We don't like it. We don't like it." And so they decided so I guess they decided, you know what? We're gonna do our own Psycho 2. And you know what? I believe the writer's name is Robert Bloch. I'm assuming that's how you're gonna you say his last name, Bloch. Unless it's Block, Robert Bloch. But I guess Universal was pretty much like, you know what? We don't like your novel. We're gonna go our own way. Why don't show up for the movie? Don't come to any of the screenings. We're not going to invite you to any of them. And yeah, he said, okay, fine, I suppose. And I guess they told him, they said, hey, look, just abandon your novel, okay? You don't need it. Just don't worry about it. He's like, no, and he stood by it, and he sold it, and it came out. It made him some big numbers. So, kind of funny on that. I mean, it's not really funny. It's really kind of just, to me, that's just wrong. I mean, I can understand if you don't
Did you
like some what.
did you see who the other writer for this movie was?
No, I didn't see it though.
Tom
I didn't. I
Holland.
don't know who the Tom Holland.
You know what else Tom
Direct.
Holland wrote?
Wasn't it Child's Play?
Yep.
One of the Child's Play.
He wrote the original and the remake.
Well, good for him because Meg Tilly, who plays Mary in this, is actually um, Jennifer Tilly's. I'm trying to remember who they're. I think they're.
They're
Sisters. That's right.
yeah, but this
Yeah. Are
one's not annoying.
you saying Jennifer Tilly's annoying?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Oh wow. Okay. Whatever you say, Jeremy.
No.
She is a staple of the. She is a staple of the of the Child's Play series, man. She is the Tiffany. Why is my thing frozen?
You know what's funny is Jennifer Tilly's not even listed under Meg's siblings. You have to
Oh,
click
she's
on
not.
Steve Tilly, and then Steve Tilly. Oh no, there she is.
Oh, there she is. There she is. Hmm. So yeah, the biggest thing I really liked about this movie is the way they made it work. Okay, so in the original Psycho, Norman Bates goes on his little micro. I call it a micro killing spree. I don't know. Apparently, he may have been involved in some murders from before. I don't know if they explicitly say anything, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, he killed his mom and her boyfriend, um, or his mom and her boyfriend, and he killed the PI, and he killed Marion Crane. Those are the four deaths that we know of. Whether he had more beforehand, who knows? Now, by the end of the movie, he's arrested and he's taken in, and um, they pretty much say that the mom personality has taken over and that he is going into uh, uh, a
Uh,
facility. This movie actually plays out what?
I'll say you're over there sounding like Jeff Goldblum there for a second.
Uh, uh, yeah, actually, I was just about to say that to you because all I heard was I'm like um uh
Like
so the institute.
yes, institute. Oh, I think I killed Jace.
Kept him for about this. There's a 22-year gap between the first movie and this
Yeah,
movie, and that's release time. Jeremy, I think you're moving. Just no, now you're moving. Okay,
I
so
think it's you because you keep cutting in and out. I'm getting bits and pieces.
well, the strange thing is that I'm not having any sort of issues on my end. It looks like I can hear myself and everything is moving just fine. It's just like you're freezing up there, but we'll uh we'll adjust that if we can. But the 22-year gap fits really well. I mean, they got Anthony Perkins back to play Norman Bates,
Yep.
and yeah, it works. I mean, he makes it. He makes it. He is Norman Bates. I don't care what anyone says. I know.
Yep. Froze up again.
For the Perkins Bates, I think in um, Bates Motel, he's played by a different actor who's actually kind of a stunt double in these couple movies.
Yeah.
So he'll
Okay. Somebody's.
one, and I think his name is Freddie Highmore, who plays him in. And we're just gonna skip the Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn as Norman Bates just doesn't cut it. But Freddie Highmore, I think his name is Freddie Highmore. He's the one who does it in the Bates Motel TV show, and he's pretty good at it. He's pretty good at like a young Norman Bates, but he's definitely got like a kind of an awkward teenager thing going on. He's like young Norman,
Yeah.
so it's yeah. I That's early season. I know this. It ran for a little while, and he kind of grew up into the part. So maybe by the end of it, but I think the great thing about Anthony Perkins is that he's just a likable guy. You know, when if you didn't know, if you didn't know what this,
Didn't know what this.
they said there were more cars in the lake, didn't they? I mean, yeah, I guess there was a couple out there, I suppose. Um, but yeah, if you had never seen like the first movie and knew nothing about it, and he shows up, he is a very likable kind of guy. He's very positive, kind of doing his thing or whatever. And seeing him transition from like Norman Bates into like the mom personality is really interesting. But by the time you get to this movie, he's been in this institute being rehabilitated for 22 years, and they finally give him the go ahead. They're like, he's clean, he's good, let him out, let him back into the public.
Yeah, but then Mama is
And
like, that Mama lost her mind when they let him back in.
oh, you mean Lila?
Yeah.
Yeah, the sister from the original movie,
Yeah.
who went on and married her dead sister's boyfriend or whatever.
Yep.
Um, yeah, Loomis. Um, yeah, she just had a fit, which is understandable. You know, the guy who killed your sister is now back in the public. You know, but they gave him a clean bill of health, sent him on his way, set him up with a job, and the tragic thing about this movie as you're watching through this movie is that he is actually fixed for the most part, as far as we can understand. He is fixed. He is still trying to fight his demons per se. No, walking into like the house and kind of seeing, the mom's bedroom and stuff like that, and just kind of, uh, and he's kind of freaking out a little bit, but he's kind of holding what he can. But then you have Loomis trying to get in there and just mess with him, mess with him. She wants him to break so he can go back in.
Yep.
And when he's at the diner, when he starts working at that diner, he meets Mary, and he kind of hits it off with her, which to me was just kind of a strange thing. I know in this movie he was just being a nice guy. Why don't you come stay at my place? I know there wasn't anything, as far as I was reading into it, there wasn't anything kind of romantic involved. You know, at least maybe not in the beginning.
There's always something romantic involved.
Yeah, well, if he was more like his novel character, he is more of a monster than anything with all his perversions and stuff like that. But um, no, in this one he's very nice, and he was just trying to rebuild himself. And he starts getting messages from mother, he starts getting phone calls from mother. So he's thinking his mother personality is coming back, and lo and behold, it kind of becomes a mystery. It turns into a um, is it in his head? Is it someone messing with him? I know they had hired some guy to run his motel, and he turned it into some sort of like sleazy drug motel or whatever. And Bates found out about it like first night he got there, and pretty much fired the guy.
Oh yeah, let him go completely.
Yeah, and yeah, then that guy had problems and was picking fights and calling him names and stuff like that.
Yep. He
And okay, the guy isn't in town. I'm just saying, Guy shows up. The owner of the motel shows up, who has been away because he's murdered people. He has killed people, and you're gonna sit there and call him names and call him a psycho and all this stuff, and that's just asking for trouble, in my opinion. That's pretty much going, hey, you were a killer, but you ain't a killer no more. You ain't gonna kill me.
I know, which makes it even
Yeah,
funnier.
yeah. Now when the original Psycho came out, there was a lot of stuff involved that was, oh, I wouldn't. Nowadays, it wouldn't be considered explicit, but at the time, it was, the killings, which weren't extreme for this day and age, but they were pretty extreme back then. I was actually surprised by some of the kills in this movie.
They were very tame.
What, in this movie?
Yeah. At least I thought they
I
were.
well, I mean, compared to like what we see nowadays. Um, yeah, Jeremy, I know you had to sit through uh,
Terrifier?
Terrifier. I don't know what's saying terrorizer.
I mean, I didn't have
Right.
to. I chose to, but.
Well, yeah, I sat through Terrifier, so this movie with the kills would be considerably tame.
Any.
Uh,
Just about anything compared to Terrifier is tame.
yeah.
I could literally
So,
watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I did yesterday, and that is tamed. I watched a guy get bludgeoned with a hammer.
okay, first of all, Jeremy, uh, which one did you watch? The original?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is actually a lot of that's one of those really horrific,
It's not.
nasty movies.
It's not bad.
I it, I think it's the content is what's disturbing. It's not the actual act.
Okay, I'm gonna get
When
off
we
on a little tangent for a second, but
Yeah,
that entire movie wouldn't have happened if they just stayed out of their house.
yeah, probably the same with the people in this movie. Just stay out of the house.
Like literally, that's all you had to do. Like everybody that they killed in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was because they came into his house. Literally. Most of them literally just walked into the house going, "Hey guys, where you
Well,
at?"
well, that was like the '60s or the '70s for you. That's what they did. But
Well, no wonder they're doing it in this one too.
yeah, so well, I mean, you had that couple, those teenagers that snuck into the basement
Yeah.
just have sex and smoke some dope, I suppose. And which is really funny.
Yeah.
It's like it's you're borderline like Friday the 13th at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got to smoke some
But
dope.
but I really did like how this movie played out. Especially when you come to find out towards the end of the movie where Mary is actually um what is her name, Lila? I think it's Lila.
Yes.
Miss Loomis. You find out that Mary is Lila's daughter, and they've been working together to
Yeah. They were working together to bring
break
more.
Norman and get him life. Yeah, and Mary, who's been spending all this time with him at this point, realizes he's not a bad guy. He's actually fixed. He's actually better. He's actually,
Is he
and he's
though?
trying. She's, huh?
Is he though?
I do think so. I think for the most part, he's like 99% fit. I don't think. Now, don't quote me on anything because I don't know mental health. Okay, I don't know. What transcribes over to being like what's okay and what's not okay. If you have some sort of mental illness like Norman has, I don't think you can fully be healed. You can't just be fixed. I think he would have to battle with this demon and
You cut out on me. Whoa, we lost Jason completely, I think, at this point. But going off what Jason was saying, I kind of have to agree. Like, this is something that you're not going to just be cured of, you know, willy nilly. Like, it does not work like that. This is more along the lines of, hey, we've got to actively, continuously try to make sure that you're okay, kind of a deal. Because at the end of the day, you know, that's all you can do.
okay, I'm back.
Oh, welcome back.
Yeah, it just I mean, everything else is working here, so I don't understand. But yeah, so like Jeremy was saying, and what I was saying, I don't think it's something that you can be completely healed of because remember he's it's a separate personality.
Yep.
So walking into the house and seeing things that could possibly trigger this, he's he's frightened, he's worried that that personality may arise because I'm assuming it took 22 years to put it down.
I wouldn't doubt it.
But and it also went out what?
That it took him 22 years to put it down.
Well, yeah. Um
You know,
so any sort of actual trigger could
not even gonna lie, you just froze in the most funniest way possible. Oh, Jason is experiencing some technical difficulties with his interwebs. I don't think it's anything besides the internet over there, but it's when he comes back, I'll show him his face because it's actually quite humorous. Um, but going off what Jason was saying, like you, honestly, it was just a lot. They and like Jason was saying, like Norman really, the actor, the whole thing, uh, he truly is Norman Bates. You know, it's no different than when you watch, any of the superhero movies and you're like, oh, so and so is just such a good actor. He's the only one who can play this role well. Norman Bates is kind of the same way. Anthony Perkins is, he just did a phenomenal job, and honestly, that's probably the only thing I'm gonna ever recognize him in anymore. Welcome back, Jason. I see you.
yeah, you see me, but I am still trying to load in.
Can you see me?
No. Discord is trying to load back in, it looks like.
Well, you're in Discord, so everybody can hear
Yeah.
you and see you.
Okay, well, all I'm seeing is like the little spinny symbol and it says Russia Turkey connectivity.
Well, like I said, everyone else can see you and hear you, but the face that froze you on was absolutely hilarious. So when you get
It
your
always it always is.
so when your thing gets loaded back up, let me know and I will show you the face that you made because it was quite funny.
Well, I might have to leave Discord and come back in, I suppose.
As long as they can hear you, you're good.
Well, you may just have to show me the face later, Jeremy. So, as of right now, let's just keep going, I suppose.
That's perfectly fine. But continue what you were saying.
Oh yeah, so like when he's holding the knife and stuff, like in the background that we have on the video here, um, it triggers things, and he's like, you know, so you got Mary and you got Lila there trying to get him to trigger, I suppose, and go back into the institute and who's it's and whatnots it's. And he's fighting him pretty good about it. And then here's the thing about it: the acting is so good, and it gets kind of confusing for me at the end, but not in like a bad way. Not like because there's like once Mary finds out that he's better and she's like not wanting to harm him anymore, she tries to set him straight. And there's moments where he's talking to the phone, talking on the phone, and talking to Mother. And
Yes,
at first
mother.
I'm thinking, is he just messing with her? Like he's found out what's going on, so he's just messing with them instead.
That'd be
Um,
that'd be a cool little twist.
huh?
That'd be a cool
Yeah,
little
and
twist.
at first that's what I thought he was. Like he was actively like figured out that they were messing with him, and now he's kind of turning the tables on him. But at some point he broke, and it turns into this kind of almost this funny little tragedy because um, Lila gets murdered.
Yep.
Teenagers who snuck into the basement, they get murdered. Um, Toombs or Toomey or whatever his name is,
Yep.
uh, sleazy motel dude, he gets killed off.
Yep.
Uh, the doctor gets taken out, and they're all well. Mary took out the doctor by accident,
Yeah.
but but everyone else was killed by drum roll. A lady who was supposed to be Norman's actual mother.
That's the only thing I didn't like about this movie.
But
That the whole basically the person that raised him is not actually his mother.
Hmm.
Like I get where they're going with it. I just didn't like it.
I'm I'm wondering if it's some sort of switch and bait. I mean, we're not going to really find out anything until we watch the third movie.
And the fourth one.
But and the fourth one, yes. But well, actually, I don't think. I think Jeremy. Sadly, I think we got us another Halloween situation on our hands because I was trying to figure out like what the appropriate order for these movies are, and I guess from what I'm understanding, from what I'm gathering, Psycho 1, 2, and 3 are all part of like a continuity, right? Psycho 4 technically is like a continuation of the second film. It's got like a lot of prequel stuff in it,
Yeah.
but it just kind of skips everything in 2 and 3. So some fans view it as kind of its own thing, like it's Psycho and then Psycho 4. Um, Bate Motel is its own thing that's connected to Psycho 1. Um, so we'll just have to make our own opinions based off of it. But yeah, I'm wondering if it sounds like some sort of switch and bait. Like it's like the big twist is like, oh hey, look, I'm the mom. It's this woman who just shows up out of nowhere. She's like, I'm the mom. I'm your mom, and Norma was my sister, and she raised you
Yeah.
instead of me. And then maybe like in the next one, come to find out, it's not. She's just some other crazy person who's trying to get into his life or something. I don't know. Maybe she's another psycho.
Well, I don't
That
think it
would be.
really matters because she did.
Yeah, she got whacked in the head with the shovel. I thought that was. It was kind of funny because I knew that Norman at this point had already turned, and by this point everyone else was dead. I think the doctor, Lila, Mary was killed when she was accidentally thought of as being the killer who killed everyone because
Yep.
she was dressed up as Norman's mom, had the knife, and Um, yeah, the cops came in and shot her. And then Emma, what was her name? Emma Spool? Was it?
Oh, I
Yeah,
honestly
Emma
don't.
Spool. Yeah, that was the quote unquote lady who came in and said that she's mom. She just shows up. She's like, oh, hey, yeah, I've been killing everybody. I've been killing everyone to protect you, my son. And um, yeah, and he either accepts it or he doesn't. It's not entirely clear. Like I said, not entirely sure if he's playing some game here, but he gives her this cup of tea, which is the same stuff that used Norma.
Uh huh.
It had the poison or whatever. She drinks it. She starts choking, and he walks behind her with a shovel and just whack one time right on the head, bong.
And you
And
hear the bong too.
yeah, I was actually like, wow, they actually got a good like little in that. And yeah, and then he carries the body upstairs, takes her to the room, to the mom's room, and I guess at that point the mom personality comes back.
Yep.
And
And that comes into your scene. Whoops.
why was the shovel in the kitchen?
You know, I was actually questioning that, but we'll
I
talk about that
he
in a second.
I think he may have used it for something.
I'm not sleepy. Put me in my chair. Now, tell me something, though. I want to know about this. Make sure you don't start playing with silly girls again. Well, what are you looking at? Go downstairs and open the motel. What do you expect us to live on, oh? No. I know. And you'll be one who loves him. Only your mother truly loves him.
So that, like I said, was just it was a good scene.
It it is one of my favorite scenes in the movie, but it's all yeah, it begins again. It's kind of like one of my least favorite scenes in the movie at the same time. It's primarily because it's funny Twitch is still doing that thing. It's it's my favorite because it really does kind of set everything back into motion.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like it in the sense that it brings us back to the beginning, as PJ said. You know, we've just gone back to the now. So all that progress that he was making throughout the movie is now gone.
Yep.
And it's funny because we've talked about sympathetic characters before. We've talked about, Jason Voorhees. We haven't watched Texas yet, but we've talked about Leatherface, um, Norman Bates here. All these are like sympathetic characters. And, characters like Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers, like the real evil guys,
Yeah.
it's fun to watch them be evil, but I really don't see them rehabilitating. I don't see them becoming good guys or something like that.
Oh,
I don't see.
you can't see Freddy Krueger becoming, happy little Freddy.
Oh, Jerry is a uh, child molester. I don't think back from that. Jay be a sympathetic character, but I just don't really see him being a good guy per se. Um, But Norman had this transition from, you can see him as Norman in the first movie, and he is a nice, likable guy. Um, weather's real bad. You don't need to be going out in it to go get food. Why don't you swing by the office? I'll fix you something. That type of thing. He's, like I said, I don't. Maybe in the first one, he had some sort of attraction to Marion, which is why the mom personality kind of kicked in. But in this one, he didn't have any sort of attraction, at least in the beginning. Like I said, I don't know. It was just, I think, kind of the age difference made it kind of weird a
Yeah.
little bit. But in the beginning of this movie, he was just genuinely a nice guy. He was standing up for her. He was helping her out the best he could, and it's just, it would have been really amazing to actually see him turn that new leaf and become kind of the hero. But by the end of it, he just kind of resorts that these two people pretty much push him back into his darker persona. Which, like I said, it's fun to watch. He's well known for the flip flop. Hi, I'm Norman. Da 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 da, and then a mother. Ah, 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 So it's fun to watch him go back and forth, but I would have really have just preferred, maybe, we close out the movie with him just being Norman, and he survived his trials and his tribulations, and he grew from that.
You can't just
But
have Norman anymore.
no, no, I mean, that's, you can't have, that's like saying you can have Leatherface without a chainsaw, or, you know, watching Jason skip over sex crazed teens because he doesn't want to kill them anymore. That's kind of a staple. So having Norman and the mom personality is the staple of his character.
Yeah, the
But
best scene, especially, could you imagine Jason and Jason X when they're like, do you want to smoke some pot or have premarital sex? And he walks
and then
away.
yeah, then he walks away. No, no, Jason stuffs them guys. He beat them with each other. Yeah.
Like,
So yeah, I mean, overall, I think between all these characters so far that we've come across throughout our entire stint of this show, I think Norman Bates ranks up really high with me. He's like one of my favorites at this point. I mean, he's kind of up there. I mean, I've always got a soft spot for, Jason, not because we just share, not just because we share names, but our mothers share names. Um,
that is kind of sad.
is it?
I think PJ was planning something dark and sinister.
Well, if she was, it could have been. You could have ended up being a Michael
I know. How cool would that have been?
or a Charles. You want to be a Charles? Call you Chucky. Call you
I
Chuck.
mean, this could have been so cool. Like,
And her
Jason,
sister, our,
Michael, and Savannah could have been,
Carrie.
yeah. PJ, you could have had a whole, like, horror children setup going here, but no.
No,
You had
no,
to be lame.
no. Yeah, well, like I said,
PJ said, "Oh hell no."
Jason, we've watched all the Friday movies. Definitely no Chucky. What's wrong with Chuck? He's always fun. Um, so yeah, always Jason's always been kind of a soft spot, but now that I've been watching Psycho and kind of really uh, seeing Norman go through these changes and whatnot, he's actually kind of pushing up on my on my like favorite list.
Really?
So
You know who's still pushing up on my favorite list? Nicolas Cage and
Pennywise.
The Color Out of Space. Because we're all gonna be a family.
Was he the bad guy?
He was the dad. But
Well, yeah,
he was losing his marbles about everything.
yeah. He was making an opposite twist, Jeremy. He was the good guy, and then he spiraled into the crazy person. We're talking about a crazy person who was pulling themselves out to be normal, and then had to spiral back down because of other people. So
Oh,
no, no, no. Your favorite character, your favorite villain is going to be Nicolas Cage.
and what?
When we in Renfield.
Oh yeah, I've watched that already.
So,
It's a good movie.
well, we'll get to that one eventually.
Renfield.
Yeah, I never watched it.
It's it's actually really good. Like it's a
I
lot of
I,
fun.
I don't. Is it like one of those really kind of campy, kind of silly movies?
Not really.
No. Oh, then they might want to fix their advertising because that's clearly what it was looking like.
I mean, it's funny. It's got a lot of comical moments to it. That's a given though with any Nicolas
Uh,
Cage movie.
Tucker and Dale had a lot of funny moments in it too, Jeremy.
Well, that's because Tucker and Dale is just phenomenal.
It's straight up comedy, bruh, with some horror elements. I like a good old horror
We've just
comedy.
had a doozy of a day.
Oh, tangents. So, Jeremy, uh, what was your favorite part of this movie?
Uh, you
What did
know,
you really like?
there was mine actually was gonna be yours if you hadn't said it first, but I also liked
Huh.
when they started playing tricks on him with this one. Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
muted.
Strange they some men are. Just because two people sleep under the same roof doesn't
Classic.
necessarily mean they've made love.
Oh, there he is. There's Toomey.
Or are you the kind that doesn't
He just
kiss
looks
and
like a
tell?
sleazeball.
You really want to know what Norman's like?
Yeah.
Better than you'll ever be, fat boy.
I love that line. I love that line. That line right there. You really want to know what Norman's like? Better than you will ever be, fat boy. And all it makes me think of is Pennywise.
Wow.
Kiss me, fat boy.
I. There we go again, referencing another. No, I mean like, just Toomey shows up. He's running the motel, and Norman finds out that he rents it out to teens and women and do whatever they want and party and illicit drugs and stuff like that. And so Bates kicks him out, fires him, and says he's gonna do the motel himself. And of course, Toomey's already kind of like a sleazy character to begin with, but oh my god, the way he comes in there and starts just chomping on that gum, he even chews gum like it's sleaze. I'm like, dude, stop! It is so annoying. Ah, ah. Yeah, like I said, then he's just. We were talking about the kills in this movie, okay, and was talking about how more extreme they were compared to the original movie. Because the original movie, you had Marion get killed in the shower, but you see the knife stabs, but you don't see like impact. It looked like she was just kind of like swinging it at her, not really making contact. And Then you see like the blood in the shower, but it's all black and white, so it's not really colored or anything like that. And this one, I was actually surprised. Like when they killed Toomey off, um, he got the cut on the face, and you actually see the cut. He swings like the knife swings, and it cuts his cheek.
Yep.
The special effects in it, the practical effects, a little off. I will admit that they weren't the best. Because like as soon as I saw Toomey's face, and there was just something different about it, and then he got the cut, I was like, yep, right there. That's
Yeah.
why he looked a little different, was because it was the makeup on the face.
Yep.
Same with Norman's hands at the end of the movie, where he's like holding his hands up to Mary.
Oh yeah.
He's in this mom role now, and she kept stabbing him in the hands.
Yeah.
Every time it showed his hands, he's like waving his hands like, da, 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 da. Come here, come with me, da, da, da. And then it would show a close up of like a fake hand, and it would get stabbed. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we know fake hands from real hands. I mean, like I said, they weren't exactly like the most realistic of special effects. Now, the coolest kill I thought was definitely Lila's when she got stabbed in the mouth.
Oh yeah. That one was actually really good.
That is the one that like really caught me off guard, because like I said, Toomey was like cheek, and I can't remember exactly how he died per se. If he got like just stabbed in the chest or something, but yeah, see, like Lila just get like the stab in the mouth, and it goes like out the back of her neck.
Yeah.
It was a good clean shot too. It wasn't like stab and like a cutaway, and then it comes back and like the knife's in her or whatever. No, it was like a right on camera.
Yeah.
You got to use a fake head and whatnot, but even the fake head looked better than some of the other effects they had, and I was just like, oh god, oh that, ugh. It was like right in the back of the throat, out the neck. I'm like, so that was actually like a really good kill. So yeah, the kill in these movies, I mean, they were all right. That was kind of like the big one. That was like, which is great, because, oh no, the doctor also had that pretty gnarly one too.
Oh, falling from the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She stabbed him in the chest, and he's like, and then he falls off the upstairs staircase. He falls, I guess, backwards.
Yeah.
He does a roll and lands perfectly on the railing with the knife, which just jams him like right in the chest, and then he rolls off and hits the floor and dies. And I thought that was actually pretty gnarly too. Just the impact is just, don't even.
Well, we all know that you liked this one really well. Well, let's see what everybody else thought. So, IMDb with 32,000 votes on a scale of 1 to 10.
And
What do y'all think they gave Psycho?
I'm gonna give it a 6.3. Oh, PJ gives it a 5.9.
Is Raven playing?
Raven. Yeah, an 8. He says straight up 8.
All right. Ravenfire, you're Lila.
Oh, Delilah.
You got knife straight to the throat.
You bit a little too much.
PJ? Who should I give you? You're Toomey.
Oh, sleazy to me.
It came out to a 6.6 out of 10.
Ooh.
So Jason almost nailing that one, like dead on.
I wonder if that was almost a 6.66. What kind of what kind of sandwich was he always talking about? Um, it's like a toasted cheese sandwich or something
Yeah, with milk.
with milk. Yeah, with his vitamin D milk there.
Well,
Even the way he ate was just simple. It was like nothing really extravagant about it. Did he make Marion sandwiches? No, he made. Yeah, he made her a sandwich in the last movie. And she was like, "Are you gonna eat?" And he's like, "No, I'm not really that hungry."
well, what do y'all think on a scale of 0 to 100 that the critics thought?
All right, 0 to 100.
What do y'all think the
I'm gonna-
critics thought of Psycho 2?
I'm gonna go with a 65.
All right.
An 80. She likes those high numbers.
Tell you
She
what.
must have really liked it. She must have really liked this one. Like I said, so far, I'm liking these Psycho movies.
All right. We ready?
Yeah.
74, 65, and an 80. Alrighty then. Jason? You're Meg. Or Mary, I mean. Did I lose you? I think I did. Well, when he comes back, Jason is Mary. If anybody asks. PJ? You're Dr. Raymond. And Ravenfire. You know, no, Jason is not Mary. Nah, Jason's not Mary at all. Jason and Mary are the two people who decided to go into the basement and have sex. Dirty, filthy sex with their weed and sex. Ain't that right, PJ? They should have been supervised, but instead they were off having filthy sex. Yeah, I think I really lost him. But his internet probably went completely out now. Which sucks because I was on a roll. Hehehe. But again, it's we will be coming to a close. But just so everybody knows what it was, it came out to a 62%. So everybody was off on that one.
Maybe.
Oh, there he is.
I'm back.
Hey, Jason, just so you know, Mom was the good doctor.
Yeah, I heard.
You and Mary were the two filthy teenagers having sex.
Yeah, I know. We were the two teenagers that snuck into the basement, do drugs,
And have filthy sex.
make out. And... Well, technically no, because the female got away.
Y'all, he should have been supervised by the council.
Well. What was the score on it?
62.
Ah, 62.
Yep.
Still a little bit above average.
And now the critics.
I thought that, no, it's the fans.
Oh, yeah, sorry, the fans. Had it backwards.
I'm gonna go with 68. 85? Is that what you said? 85? All right, Raven's going with an 85. She's just. Oh my goodness. She hasn't learned yet. It's gonna take her 22 years to learn that this movie was for people is mediocre.
Well, I've ran out of people to kill. But, Mom, you're the new mom. The real mom. The one that got bashed in the head with a shovel. And I lost Jason again. Man, he's having a rough go of it. But I think I did lose everybody out. I think I am out of people, though. Man, I need y'all to do better next time. But let's get the trailer rolling, because next week we are back at the Bates Motel once again. I did forget to say it was a 62%. Yes, PJ, you all suck. But we will see y'all next week, same time, same campfire. Hopefully Jason's internet is better than what he has at the Bates Motel right now. But we will see y'all next week as we watch Psycho 3.
The guy just wants to be left alone in peace.
Aren't you gonna take him in for questioning or anything?
Just leave him alone. Norman Bates is back to normal. But Mother's off her rocker. Again.
Norman, is that you?
Yes, Mother. It's me. Bates Motel.
Aside from total boredom, nothing's gonna happen.